Scientists found water in Mars, especially underground reservoirs, which can contain a huge amount of liquid water caught in the rocks under the surface of the Earth. NASA's Mars rover has recently sent a reverse image that hints something shocking in the recent surface evidence. We can change everything we thought. After 12 years of tired intelligence, rover found a sulfur decision that found a cooling signal that water could flow from Mars. If there was water, perhaps life can be hidden in the shadow of the ancient Mars. For a long time, Mars has been a source of mystery and hobbies and has attracted the curiosity of astronomers, scientists, and dreamers. Like the fourth planet of the Sun, it shares some of the characteristics slightly longer than 24 hours, such as polar ice cap and daily length. Nevertheless, Mars is an inevitable wasteland and the temperature can drop to -80 degrees. Its atmosphere is mainly thin, mainly composed of carbon dioxide, so it is almost impossible for the survival of well-known life. Despite these extreme conditions, scientists believe that Mars is very different at once. The recent discoveries buried deep under his scars challenge everything we thought we knew about the potential of life outside the Earth and the Earth. The journey to reveal the secrets of Mars began in the 1960s when NASA began Mariner mission. In 1964, Mariner 4 became the first successful spacecraft to capture the image of Mars close-up, and, like some people, was found to have more barren landscapes by the Earth's moon craters. In the 1970s, the mission of the Vikings went further. Viking 1 and Viking 2 not only rotated on Earth, but also successfully landed on the surface in 1976. These landing experiments have performed experiments designed to detect signs of life. There was no direct evidence of life, but the collected data provided valuable information about the history of Mars and the history of the climate. By 1990, the NASA approach began. In 1996, Pathfinder Mars mission began. This mission was innovative because he carried Sojourner, a small but powerful rover of microwave size. Sojourner has become the first rover of crossing the Earth by analyzing stones and soils. This breakthrough showed the potential of robot research and opened a way for future missions. In the 2000s, a new era was recorded in Mars studies with twin rovers Spirit and Opportunity, which arrived in 2004. These rovers survived in the early time frame of the mission and showed unprecedented surface of Mars. They found evidence that Mars once had the right conditions for liquid water. Then there was Curiosity, one of the most advanced rovers when LIBS was built. The Curiosity, which started in 2011 and landed in 2012, was developed to determine whether there is a cloud environment that can maintain microorganisms. Unlike predecessors, Curiosity relied on nuclear energy sources so that they could continue to work without solar energy. Curious landing, known as 7 Minutes Terror, turned on the complex sky system and carefully gave the rover of Mars surface. Once Curiosity on Earth did not waste time to sample soil sample analysis, rock research, and send important data. Over the years, he provided evidence that ancient Mars had rivers and lakes, strengthening the theory that liquid water was once on the surface. Now the opening of the Huang crystal has reached a new level of scientific plot. Of course, it is related to the process related to water, and the detection of these decisions suggests that Mars has liquid water rather than recently considered. If there was water, there was even a small opportunity for life to flourish. This revelation can be reassembled what we know about the evolution of the Earth and the possibility of living in the universe. This discovery is just the beginning. Rescience rover, which landed in 2021, set a new record in this study. Equipped with high-end tools, he can collect varieties and soil samples and return to Earth for further analysis. When his persistence landed on Mars, he touched crater, now known as Giro. Scientists were not sure what stones could be found on the bottom of the Geyser crater. Some believed that rocks were ancient lava flows, and others thought they were sedimentary cancer carried by wind or water. Persistence has found several types of magmatic varieties, including lava flows and stones formed by slowly cooling magma. This stone includes a decision to help scientists to determine when. This more exciting stone showed signs of water interaction. This conclusion is important because it means that this stone can fix the conditions suitable for a home for microbial life. When the patient sample returns to Earth, scientists can answer serious questions about the history of Mars, including the era of geological units filled with the Mars process and Jezero crater. Another amazing discovery of patience was the evidence of the ancient bed of the lake. In the well-preserved sedimentary sedimentation ventilation deposition, in Jezero, a place called Wildcat Ridge, persistence found evidence of long reservoirs. This sediment was not only formed in the lake, but it continued to interact with the water for a long time after formation. This discovery suggests that the environment registered in this variety will live for ancient microorganisms. Scientists now hope to return these samples to Earth. Meanwhile, Curiosity also made an amazing discovery. In the crater of Gale where he landed, Curiosity found evidence of ancient water streams, including the middle of the lake bed and the lake steering platform. The rover tool analyzed the rock and found that Mars had appropriate conditions for millions of years. He also found an organic molecule and life-building block and found seasonal methane spikes in Mars. Methane can be obtained by the biological process, assuming that Mars can still be geologically activated or even accept some form of life. When patients made oxygen on Mars, another historical achievement came out. In the oxygen area of Mars, the experiment on resource processing successfully changed the carbon dioxide from the Mars atmosphere to oxygen. MOXIE runs 16 times and has created about 4 oxygen ons to support the astronaut for 4 hours. Despite the small quantities, this breakthrough is an important step in making Mars live for people. MOXIE surpassed NASA's expectations, producing up to 12 grams of oxygen per hour and completing 2 missions in September 2023. Sustainability also recorded the sound of Mars, providing scientists a new way to study the Earth's atmosphere. His board microphone captured 24 hours of Mars audio, including the wind of the Earth and the sound of the rover's own instrument. Scientists have found that the sound speed of Mars is thin and rich in the atmosphere of carbon dioxide, so it progresses slower than the Earth. Since the amount of sound changes depending on the season, the sound affects the way the sound passes through the air. Another interesting ability of Patience is the ability to create an amazing panoramic image of 3,600 degrees of Mars. This allows scientists to explore the red planets as if they were standing there. SuperCam rover is another great tool that combines cameras, lasers, and spectroscopy for harmony cancer and soil analysis from afar. If you set the rock with a laser, you can study the Mars configuration to provide clues to the volcanic history of Mars and the possibility of living in the past. With the discovery of silica and phosphate, the presence of volcanic and sedimentary rock draws a picture of Mars. Mars is very different from the colder planets we can see at one time. This conclusion shows that the water can once flow in the Jezero crater and the environment can live. As we know, water is the core ingredient of life, and if the evidence of the water of Mars increases in the past, the more interesting possibilities compared to ancient life. Thanks to the satellite, rover, and landing, scientists now have an irresistible evidence that water once exists in Mars. The satellite image is marked with dried rivers, ancient beds of the lake, and vast nets of the valley, confirming that the water once flowed through the Earth. The image of the persistent Jezero crater shows that it is more complicated than expected there. According to this new data, the water remained on Mars for a long time, which further strengthens the case of past residents. Each new discovery becomes more realized by the possibility of ancient life in Mars. The next revelation can change everything we thought we knew, not only Mars but also about life outside the Earth.